3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. My name is Mac.
And I'm Ree.
And this is the Me and Ree Review Show. We are the two that review for you.
We do.
America.
We do.
This is episode 10 of Million Dollar Listing New York. If you're a fan of the show, you've tuned into a podcast. We review it. We talk about it. We're the official. We actually have interviewed James and James Harris and David Parnes. And we have a few of them calling the show. And we've been talking about calling Steve and all that. We just don't do it. We just don't do it.
We've been so busy this year, though, Mac. This has been a really busy year.
But we do tweet. And everybody uses the hashtag MDLNY. And you can follow us at McKinnon Maddox. So I thought this week was a good show.
Well, it's a good show.
Fredrik got fired, first of all.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. That lady, I don't know what she's...
So you thought it was ridiculous?
I do, because she's worked with him before. She knows his potential. She knows she's got a price on the property that's ridiculous. She's just trying herself. She's trying to get the money out of it, and there's nobody else that's going to be able to get any more than that for her. You know that.
I agree.
Yeah. So that might have been just for show. Whatever.
I don't know. But, Fredrik made a good point. He said it's my fault in the end that he got fired. He did say it was his fault because, and see if you agree with this, because he overpriced it. I mean, he took the listing knowing it was overpriced.
Yeah.
And he ran the chance that happens.
Yeah.
And it happened.
But,
she was ridiculous, though.
I mean, when you put a price on it that's not even close to anything, there's no way anybody can sell it. She's not even going to be able to sell it on her own.
Right.
So, I think she's being a little haughty about that.
What was her name? Jenny?
Jean?
Jeannie or Jean? Jeannie.
I don't know. I remember from a previous episode, though.
And she's a builder?
She's a developer, yeah, is what he said.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I remembered her from some episode. I can't remember which one. But he has worked with her a lot, and he has sold a good bit for her, I believe.
Yeah. You know who I was impressed by this week?
Who's that?
Was Bradley Cooper. How about that, huh?
I tell you what, he put himself in the right place, didn't he?
Oh.
He decided he wanted a real estate license, so he started driving, which, hey, I say that is it. Put yourself where you want to learn, if that's what you're wanting in the future. And, he got that client, the dentist, that really wanted that funky place, and was willing to make an offer on it. And then, the guy backs out. But I couldn't believe it. His first sale, $15 million. Wasn't it like $15 million?
That's right.
I thought, good night, Bradley. You did put yourself in the right place. But
I think that's wild that he goes to New York, he decides to be a driver, he gets his license, and here he is selling a $13 million property.
What you think about when you put yourself in those positions,
His first job, first commission check is 700 and something thousand.
No, can you believe that?
Wasn't it 700 or 300
something like
or
that,
something like just incredible.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
It was hard to believe, and it's devastating because I think what happened was the deal fell through, didn't it?
It did. The guy decided not to sell it.
Yeah.
Unless he comes back later and sells it,
Man,
but
I hope he comes back.
He decided not to, but I thought that was interesting. He had that one client, showed him that one piece of property. He loved it. That you talk about lucky, except he did lay the groundwork, because think about how Louise, Ryan's, Fredrik, they all came into New York selling a lot cheaper stuff. This guy jumps right into, but then he put himself in that position. He was driving for, I wonder how he worked it out where he could drive for Steve Gold. See what I'm saying?
Well, I wonder that, and then I wonder how he convinced his dentist to use it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I know. We need to call Bradley Cooper and find out.
Oh, he would be good.
How he got in there, how he got to be a driver for Steve Gold.
Right.
And all the time he was trying to get his real estate license,
we could really turn our show into something cool if we wanted to,
I think it is cool.
Well, I mean, but what I mean is you can have people that aren't the cast members. Like, we've had the main ones, but people around them, like Jeannie.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
tweet,
love to do
get
that.
her to call in.
Ooh, maybe we ought to start doing that.
Bradley Cooper, and then talk about, they talk about.
Oh, behind the scenes stuff, and like Jeannie, did she really think that property was worth that, or did she just take a chance and?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Or I put it on TV because I knew people would be interested, even if it didn't sell.
Right.
Oh wow! I think
that
hit on something.
Maybe we should start prioritizing our show a little bit more. This has been something where we hop on and we talk about it for a little while and we just post it. It's just a fun thing.
But it's kind of outgrowing us. We need to keep.
Well, the people have spoken.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We need to step up a little more because it started out just kind of small, but it's gotten big, and it's just really fun now.
But maybe we should prioritize it and start doing a little bit more of that and have some people call in and, not necessarily Ryan and those guys that we've had before,
because
but
they're hard to get hold of.
But
you have to go through hoops and all kinds of things to get them.
Well, but it's also interesting to hear the other side. So
You're
maybe
not
we should
kidding.
do that.
Ooh, I'm gonna put that on my calendar.
Oh,
That's
God,
gonna
put it on
be
your
something
calendar.
I'm gonna try to
That's
do.
great. Please do.
Yes, I have a calendar.
Very
Thank you.
good. Very good.
I'm a very busy woman.
So this was good, and I'll tell you, not surprised about this. Ryan sounded a lot like somebody I used to know called Luis.
I know.
And
I thought, oh no, here we go.
It was only 2 short weeks ago that he was lecturing Luis.
I know it.
And now he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's burned out. He's tired.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
And so Ryan wants to quit real estate, much like Luis did. At least he's going through a phase where he's a little burned out. I don't think he's ready to quit, but
Do you think you get to the top like that and you decide that's all you want?
I'll tell you what happens. This is my opinion.
What's that?
You get to the top and you look around and you say, okay, I made it. And now you're stuck with showing stuff for the rest of your life. And you say, okay, I'm tired of marble ceilings, or whatever. Marble floors,
Yeah.
Golden ceilings, whatever, exposed brick.
Antelopes for hand rails, yeah.
It's like, do I
Shipped in
want
from
to?
Africa.
You only did it before so that you could get to the top and make the money and be the best and accomplish that. And then once you get to the top, now all you have is the property. And you realize, oh, maybe I don't love it as much as I did. You get tired of that.
Still making the money, though.
Well, yeah, but, it's like at that point, there's the chase of being number one, and you build the team and you build the firm and you have the brokers. And
Have you noticed that he sort of followed the same pattern as Fredrik? He split off into Brooklyn. He went into L.A. He's got him offices there. Fredrik did that. He started in Sweden. He opened an office over there.
Well, and look at Fredrik. He's
I know,
slowing
but that's
down.
what I'm saying. And now he's slowing down. So you watch the pattern of Fredrik and Ryan, which is smart. He's kind of following him, in his footsteps. But I understand it just gets old with a bunch of people with a lot of money that think you have to do whatever they tell you.
Right.
Yeah, I never heard that statement, the one with the gold rules. Mm-hmm. And, I know they get tired of placating all these spoiled, too much money. People that just think too much of themselves because of the money, and they expect certain things and they talk down to you and they, you know what I'm saying? The respect is not there. They look at this realtor as you're supposed to work for me, and not just like Jeannie did him. They're friends and all that, but she fired him. He didn't get the money in one open house or whatever, so she fired him. Well, that's not right. That's not the way it works, When you want friends, you want it to be on a good level. And when you're climbing to the top, you don't mind it. But when you get to that point, you're like, I need to be respected just like I respect you. But these people with all that money sometimes don't tend to want to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe.
It's an attitude.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Possible.
I think that may be what's going on with, well, you remember Luis, when he decided, you remember he had a big open house or something, he was looking around, he just stopped and said, is this what I want to do the rest of my life?
You just realize you don't like it as much as you
people.
tell yourself you do,
Yeah, they come to the same stuff.
I think you come to New York and you have to do something, like Luis. You've got to do something to make a living. And what am I going to do? And so you get into real estate because it's something you can do without formal education.
You don't think he just loved it?
No, I think a part of you do, but you get tired of it. I think real estate's one of those things where you enjoy it for the first few years, and then because of the architecture and the style. But then you see everything, and once you've seen everything, seeing it a second time is not as exciting.
No, I think you burn out just like anything else when you push yourself that much. Like Ryan said, it's like Groundhog Day. You repeat and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
When you start with like studios, apartments, like Luis did, okay? Yeah. You see all these huge buildings around you that you don't have access to, and you say, wow, I want to one day grow my career to a point where I have access to those buildings, See what's inside, And then you get there and you get in those buildings, and it's done. You've seen it, and then it's over. And then you look around, and there's no more buildings to get in access to. It's like, okay, where do I go next? And now it's just showing the same old stuff that I've done, and it gets robotic.
I guess so. I hadn't thought about it that way.
And when you're single, and when you have all that money, and you say, why do I want to keep doing this over and over and over? You don't have to provide for a family. You don't have to go in robot mode and do it. And then before you know it, you're seeing a therapist.
Yeah. Well, there's good and bad in that. I mean, it's bad that you feel like you got to go see a therapist, but it's good that you realize there's a problem and you'd like to fix it. But I don't understand why Ryan doesn't just get that he got married and he wants to spend some time at home, and he's not interested in working all the time now. I think there's the conflict.
See, I think Steve is still rising.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's still excited about it because he's got so much ahead of him, places to go. And I think Ryan and Fredrik are at the top, and they're looking around and they're saying, wow, this was kind of not, what I expected.
I think Steve's going to have a different mentality, though. I think Steve has the mentality of, I'm making all I want to make. This is good enough for me. I'd like to stay in this level. I'm not really rushing to get to the top. That's my opinion. That's what I kind of see in him. Mm-hmm. He's been the model. He's been adored. He's been put on big old billboards and this. It's sort of like now, he's been in real estate 10 years. So he's kind of course, Fredrik saw something in him. He said he had tried to recruit him to work for him. So evidently he's a good agent. Mm-hmm. And but I think he's kind of satisfied where he is. I don't think you're going to see him clawing to the top like that. I don't know. He doesn't seem that way right now. He seems more of the hippie-ish attitude than more of the corporate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of my opinion.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what'd you think about his golden shower? Was that his friend?
Yeah,
or did he just come on that one? I can't remember.
I wonder how the market is up there in New York that when you design a place like that, it's just...
Like we saw that other weird one last week, remember?
Like, I know if you did that in our market, you're going to have a hard time selling that. It's going to take forever to sell.
Yeah.
But I wonder, I guess there's so many people in New York that are unique. I imagine it's a little easier to do. Even though it's still odd, you have to find somebody unique that has that taste. I think with a bigger pool of people in New York, you have a higher chance and it sells faster. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wonder how much time lapsed between him getting that listing, Steve getting the listing, and Bradley Cooper coming up with the dentist. I wonder if there was a month in there was a week, there was 2 days,
Well, we've asked that question for years.
Yeah, I just wondered how long it had been on the market. It sounds like it, well, from what the man said, when he pulled it off the market, he said, I haven't even had a chance to live in it.
Yeah.
So possibly, it sounds like it happened really quick.
Might have.
So, I mean, you had a dentist that was interested in it. I don't know if he would have left it like that, but...
It's odd.
But it was... it was odd. He had closed up all the windows, put all that gold, what do you call it, gold?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't want to live in there without windows.
Me either.
Yeah.
But they showed the before picture, and it was so nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the guy just walled it up like that.
Well, I wonder, how easy it is to reverse those changes,
Ooh, that shower had that stuff everywhere.
Gosh.
It was horrible. What do you call it, mosaic?
Mosaic gold tile, I think.
Yeah, oh gosh. Somebody had said I could paint over it, and he said, you don't want to paint over it.
Gosh.
I mean, I just thought that was really individual.
Yeah, once again, Steve had this guy stay for the first showing, and that's not good. You don't ever want the owner to be there for the showing.
No, but sometimes you can't help it.
Well, I guess that's
it was like his baby, and he thought he could explain everything he did, because it was odd things.
Wow.
Just like he said, took the sheetrock down, whatever. I forgot what he said. Anyway.
Ugly place, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was
kinda
not
weird.
my taste. No, it was not my taste.
But in New York, it's easy, you're going to sell it eventually, I believe.
Well, hey, what'd you think about Ryan and Amy getting back together? The old, they had that listing together a long time ago.
I like
Remember
Amy.
that? Mm-hmm. I think he said she'd changed a lot.
See, Amy's somebody I'd want to talk to.
Really?
Yeah. Well, hold it. You're talking
yeah.
about the co-lister.
The co-lister, yeah.
Yeah, she's not my favorite. Sorry, Amy.
But she's better this time. I think he's right.
She's
I think
improved.
she had melon a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
he used to work with this blonde-haired lady. I think he was working with her this episode.
Ryan?
She's a developer, yeah.
oh, yeah.
See,
her
I
name is
I like her.
That's not Amy though. That's Yvonne.
That's Yvonne. I like Yvonne.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very classic.
I remember a few seasons ago when he
too.
told Yvonne he was getting married.
Oh, yeah.
She got all excited.
I remember that. Now he's married. Isn't that weird?
I know.
You're right. I forgot about
See,
all that.
I like Yvonne. She's
Time
great.
went fast, didn't it? Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. They revisited Jeannie this time, Yvonne and Amy in this one episode.
Yeah, I wonder how much of their business is repeat. I imagine a lot of it.
Well, especially with developers, wouldn't you think?
Sure.
They're dealing with the same. But you mentioned the other day, you said one person we had not seen is Zach Vela.
We haven't seen Zach in a long time.
I wonder what he's doing.
Might have gone to Los Angeles.
He did do some things out there, didn't he? He came out there. We saw on one of the L.A. episodes, didn't we? Didn't Ryan come with him? Or Fredrik didn't. It was Ryan.
Maybe.
Seems like it. I've forgotten who did that, but it was interesting. I hadn't thought about that. They revisited 3 people on this episode.
Yes, they did.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. We've got 2 more remaining this season.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Just 2?
I think so.
Oh.
This was 10, so we've got 11 and 12.
Oh, man.
Yep.
It's almost over?
It's almost over.
Oh.
Yeah, next week looks like Steve, we're going to meet his family.
No, really? What does it look like? What kind of family does he have?
Yep. I don't know.
Like sisters, brothers, whatever?
Well, I see a sister there. I see 2 parents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Wonder if they live in New York.
Maybe not.
That's interesting. Wow.
Fredrik has a strategy for his new Nolita building, designed by Lenny Kravitz and his team.
Oh, what's it called?
Nolita. I didn't realize it was called that.
I didn't either. That didn't seem like the name they
Nolita.
said last time. They talked about it last week. I can't remember that.
Oh, that's a city in New York.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like the name of the building.
It's not the name
What
of
was
the building.
that
It's like an area. It's a neighborhood called Nolita.
Yeah.
If that's how you pronounce it, anyway. Yeah, that building. I remember the name. I forget the name, but I would recognize
They talked
it.
about it last time. But
Says he's going out of the country. Fredrik's going out of the country. Needs his passport.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wonder where he's going.
Ryan tries to break out of his rut by befriending a quirky apartment owner, only to find the rug pulled out from under him.
Oh,
literally. Will be interesting. Will be interesting.
Will be interesting. You're not kidding.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I don't think. Do you think a trend nowadays is to rent more than to buy?
I do.
Do you really?
Well, it depends on whose, age group.
Okay, do you think the millennials are more renters than they are homeowners? Mm-hmm. Why?
Because they have no money.
They have no money?
Yeah, we don't
Aren't
save.
the millennials making the big money?
Well, I don't know. Regardless, as a whole, millennials don't know why, but they're renting more. I think it's convenience. I think it's probably influenced by the on-demand mentality.
Yeah, I see.
Thanks to Netflix and subscription services.
You think they changed jobs a lot?
Probably change jobs a lot. They think, I'm going to travel the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I'm going to change things. Yeah.
I'm going to, be,
Yeah.
one with the universe.
Well, it changes.
Live a full life since my parents.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't want to be like that.
It's like a rebellion.
Everybody's always done that generation thing. I hope they wake up, because one day when they get into real life and they see how things are, it will change. Your wisdom kicks in at that time.
Sure it does.
It's funny because I remember watching an interview with John Lennon and he was such a radical. I don't know if you remember him. He was in the Beatles. And he was such a radical. He was always protesting everything. And as he grew older, he said he apologized for it. He said, I learned a lot as I grew older. And yeah, those things were not exactly what I should have done, which I thought was so interesting because he was so emphatic about it. You know, he did sit-ins and he did, you know, he and his wife would sit nude in the bed and protest something. You know, they just did really outlandish things.
Interesting.
Because he had the notoriety, you know, and he could get the cameras on him. But then I remember an interview I think he did with Johnny Carson at one time, and he said, I've changed the way I feel about all that. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. To be that emphatic in your 20s to change like that, you know, as you got older.
Right.
So you do change a lot about the way you think between your 20s and your 30s. Has to do with meeting people, getting married, having kids or not, and working. It just changes. Paying taxes, getting into that routine, you know, of life.
Routine. Millennials don't like routine.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. But I think what you can do is...
Do you think millennials' mindsets are unrealistic?
Probably not for their age, because everybody in their 20s thinks they're just going to do differently from the previous generation. We're going to be better. We're going to do more. We're going to be more grateful for what we have, or whatever it is at the time.
And do you believe that our outlook on life is influenced by our own lives individually? So if somebody's had a great life, they're going to have a better outlook versus somebody that's had a more difficult life.
Not necessarily. I think it's your
Not
attitude.
necessarily, but
I think it's more your attitude. Just like if you came from a bad life, bad beginning, whatever. I don't know from whatever. And you move out and you go to college or whatever, and you finish college and you have in your head, I'm going to do better than what happened. You know, I'm going to move forward.
let me give you an example.
Okay.
So your outlook on life, you mentioned routine a minute ago. A lot of people would say life doesn't have to be routine at all.
No, it doesn't.
However, you mentioned routine, which is inherently how you must feel about some things. You have to have a routine in order to do things well, take care of business, make sure finances are in line, make sure health is in line, those types of things. There are things you need to do on a routine basis to keep them
you got to pay your bills every month.
Right. It's a routine to pay bills. Okay.
Right.
Maybe you feel that way because your life, you've had to do things more yourself. You've had to be more independent. You know, this is just a hypothetical.
Sure.
But somebody that has had to be more independent versus somebody else doing everything for them may have the outlook that you have to take care of things before you can have fun. You know? You see what I'm saying? I think environmental events, in your life will influence the way that you look at things.
That's true too. It's the way you grow up about money, what you think about money or whatever. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. It depends on, I mean,
But I
everybody's so
think the
individual.
majority of people,
on what they want to do.
I think all of our logic and outlook on life is influenced heavily by what we've experienced mainly, not just what we think.
Sure.
You know, our thoughts, I think, are formed by events and experiences.
I think you're right. But I think, too, that I've seen a couple of people that are in the medical profession, and they think, oh, I'll get bored doing this over and over and over. I do the same knees every day, or the same feet, or just the same arms, or whatever. So they look at it, and they say, okay, I don't want to get that way. I don't want to get stale. That will be my income. And I'm going to branch off and have something that really interests me on the side. So this particular one decided to operate on celebrities, or he decided to work with basketball players or wrestlers or whoever. So it gave him that diversity. It gave him that something that he was interested in, so that he didn't get in the routine of just, you know, doing arms, legs, whatever he does. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think you can do that in any profession. Whether you're an accountant, whether you're a realtor, whatever, if you have that side thing that you love, you know, hobby, whatever it is, you know, that makes your routine easier to me. I think it makes your life happier because you're still doing some things that you want to do, whether it's reading books, building clocks, building, you know, woodworking, whatever. I think that makes a difference. And I think Ryan has made... for the last 6 or 7, 8 years, maybe, he has just done nothing but focus on real estate. And I think he's now at the point where he's thinking, and I bet you $100 $1 Amelia has mentioned a family or moving back to Greece. And he's going through some of that right now. Because he can't have a family and be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't know why he feels that he has to keep doing that, because he's got Brooklyn now. He's got the office in L.A. He's got the office in New York. He's got plenty of income coming in if he backed off. You know what I'm saying? He's got people working for him.
Right.
So I think he's getting to that point. And it's smart. He's built it where he can live off it, just like Fredrik. That's why Fredrik goes to Connecticut now. And you notice Jeannie mentioned that. She said, I think you're spending too much time in Connecticut.
Interesting.
Yeah. But to me, Fredrik's forming a life now. He's forming a life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's neat for him to see it.
Yeah,
Glad
good for him.
He's realized it. You know.
I'm happy for him.
I am too.
I like it.
I am too. He's enjoying it more. And he's talked about going to church, talked about having time off. I just think you can't run. Our bodies aren't designed to do that forever and ever. They're just not. You get depressed, you get tired, you get, whatever. But I think you have to take responsibility for yourself too. You got to look at what's happening to you, and you've got to make adjustments. That's me.
Boy, that's good.
Well,
any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
Very good.
It was good though.
That was a really great comment you had there at the end. That was good.
Oh, thank you.
Somebody's going to get a lot from that.
I'm a wise woman.
Our audio bar looks poor here. It looks like I had an accident. I hope it didn't.
Oh no!
But we'll find out. We'll stop the show and we'll find out.
Okay. All right.
But that was a lot of fun.
It was.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Great talk.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on the program.
Yes.
Fun.
And you bring a lot of wisdom.
I don't know about that.
Every
but
week.
It's fun. It's fun. But I do think what you said we ought to do. We ought to really step it up a little bit and have some calls in, have some things going on.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
We just need to prioritize.
Yeah, and I think your comment about the, I'm going to put that on my calendar to call some of these people in the background. That would be so interesting.
All right.
I'd love it.
Very good.
Good job, Matt.
Well, great show.
I know. It's good.
I'll see you next week for episode 11.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe that. Wow.
Yep.
Episode 11.
That's it.
Wow.
Well, this has been Mac.
And this is Ree.
Keep it all biz.
And we'll see you on the podcast.